Hello, and we are at the time of this video approaching the end of the year. And I know when I do stuff for my business, sometimes I like to pass it on what I'm doing. Doesn't mean you have to do it, but sometimes it can be helpful to other people. So, in the year, I'm thinking about how much money I'm going to owe the government for next year, for our taxes for this year, but due typically around April 15th. And is there anything I can do that makes sense to do that? Now, I guess it's worth disclosing. I'm certainly not a tax professional. You can consult your own tax professional, but you can have a business for a while, which you have, and do taxes, help prepare taxes, work on strategies, research strategies, and learn some things. So I'm going to share with you kind of what I do as far as year end, some things I've done, and maybe it makes sense for you, maybe it doesn't. So one of the things, the best things I did last year, and I wish I would have done it before last year, but unfortunately that was the first year I did it, was I started a SEP IRA, SEP, SEP IRA. You may be familiar with traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs. So what's the difference in a SEP IRA? Well, it's for self-employed people, and one of the things that's great about it is there's a lot higher level of income that you can put in there compared to a Roth IRA. So, and I had to get my accountant to help me with it, but as he was doing year-end tax preparation and put in the amount of money that I earned for the year, and based off of some number that's in your taxes, your revenue, they take a percentage of that, and that is what the max amount you can contribute to the SEP IRA. Now, there is a cap. If you're making multiple millions of dollars, they're going to cap it. But I was able to put in significantly more into that than I was a Roth IRA, which was great. Now, it functions more like a traditional IRA, meaning that you get the deduction, you get the tax benefit on the front end there. So it made a significant difference. Now, you say, well, why wouldn't everybody do that in business for yourself? Well, you can call it, I don't want to say the downside, but one way it works is whatever you put in there for yourself, this is my understanding, you have to match that for your employees. So it's typically thought of as something used for small businesses, like real small businesses, like I don't have many employees, or like me who works by yourself. So I can put in a lot of money into that, get the tax benefit on the front end, and because I don't have any employees, I don't have to match it. If I had an employee, I would have to put the same amount in there for them, for that employee that I do for myself. That's my understanding of it. You will confirm that. But for people like me, self-employed, no employees, or maybe very few employees, it made a whole lot of sense. It made a significant difference on my taxes, and I'm hoping to put more in there this year than I did for the previous year. The other thing I've mentioned, I do have a Roth IRA. There's some drawbacks to that. There's some benefits to that. The Roth IRA, you put your money in there, and you get no tax benefit on the front end, opposed to like a traditional IRA or the SEP IRA. And but it does grow tax-free. So when you take it out, penalty-free when you're 59 and a half years old, the growth on that grows tax-free, which could be great if it grows. The other downside to it is there is a limit on how much money you can put in there. I think at the time of this video, somewhere around $7,000. And the other downside is there is an income limit. Once you reach a certain income level, then you're not allowed to put money into your Roth IRA. So you need to look into those things, but that may be another option that makes sense for you. Again, that's not really going to benefit you on your year-end taxes doing the Roth IRA. If you need an immediate benefit, you may look into a traditional IRA or do the SEP IRA that I'm talking about if you're self-employed. And there's other things out there like these educational plans for children, things of that nature that can benefit you as well. But I'm certainly outside of my expertise. Now, the other thing we can talk about is just buying stuff. And I think you got to be careful with this, because I think there's sometimes a mentality out there that I'm just going to go buy stuff because if I don't spend it, I've got to give it to the government. Well, that just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, unless it's something that you needed to buy anyway. So I understand that. Like if you sold your business for $5 million and you don't invest any of that in any tax benefit way, then you're going to have to pay taxes on that, and that's going to be very painful. So I understand if you made a lot of money, there are ways and strategies, and people a lot smarter than me that know what to do with that to reinvest that to offset some of the taxes instead of just sitting on it and collecting. But for people that run small businesses and make a decent living or whatever, to take your money and just go buy something that you didn't really need or wasn't a great purchase at the time doesn't make a lot of sense, because at the end of the day, you're only saving a portion of it that you were going to have to pay in taxes. And if you made a bad investment that's going to depreciate, I'm going to go buy an overpriced vehicle or overpriced piece of lawn equipment or whatever that I didn't necessarily need, so I can save money, then you will definitely save that portion of taxes that you had to pay, but it doesn't make a lot of sense if it wasn't something needed. But now the other side of that is, if you needed something that makes a whole lot of sense to buy and you were planning to buy it anyway, then I think oftentimes it makes a whole lot of sense to do it in December than wait until January, because you can get that tax benefit this year versus next year. The way I think about that is, if I had a bad year this year, let's just say, and my taxes are not going to be that much, and next year I'm planning on having a great year, we don't hold the future, but just you get where I'm going, then maybe I wouldn't do that strategy. I'm thinking like next year is going to be projected to be significantly better than this year. So in this case, I might actually wait until January to buy that piece of equipment. But if your business is doing great and you had a good year this year and you know you're going to get a tax burden coming your way, then buying it in December makes a lot of sense. So what would you buy? Well, maybe time to upgrade equipment. That's one thing you can do. There are situations, again, check with a tax professional, but I think when you buy a vehicle, if you make a profit, then I think sometimes if you make, if I remember correctly, if you're making payments on the vehicle, then you can still deduct the full amount of the vehicle. So if I went and bought a $25,000 used truck, let's just say, and my business made a profit, and I can write that off, even if I make payments on the truck, then I still can write the full amount off this year. I believe that's how it works. Again, confirm that with somebody else. Don't do that if you don't need a truck. Don't do it just to go do it, just for the tax saving. Do it if it makes sense and you really needed that. For me, I start spraying yards on January the 1st, often for my business. And I'm going to be using chemicals. Well, I don't want to buy those chemicals on January 1st. I'd rather buy them at the end of the year to get a tax write-off, in the current year versus the coming year. Things like yard signs. I put die-cut yard signs out in the yard. I get them from spraysigns.com. Chad is great, who runs that business. And last year I bought like 5,000 of them or something. I'm not going to use 5,000 this year, but I went ahead and bought them. I've got stocked up for the next couple of years, maybe, or a few years, and I was able to write that off this year. So I didn't want to wait until January to do that. I want to go ahead and do that in this calendar year so I can take the full benefit, so I can get the tax benefit now. And again, going back to IRA, to me, it makes a lot of sense with that SEP IRA. Instead of me just buying something I didn't need to get a deduction, I can invest the money and get the deduction. So that's even better to me, because that's like, I want to buy what I need to buy, purchases, but then if I've still got money and I'm still trying to get an offset somehow, then I can invest it, which was something I was wanting to do anyway, and deduct it that way. Another thing I did this year was I bought t-shirts for my business, bought new t-shirts, new long sleeve shirts that I wear when I'm spraying yards, and decided to go do that. I don't want to do that in January. I want to do it at the end of the year and get the benefit this year. You may think this is crazy. It's sort of an annual tradition for me. I don't know if I'll do it this year, but we'll see. I a lot of times would go fill my work truck up on December 31st. I thought, you know what? I'm going to fill it up today. I'm filling it up. Maybe it's $50, but it's $50 that I get a tax benefit on this year versus wait until next year. I would be curious to hear some of your strategies, because I know there's things out there that I'm not doing, and I think some of them I'm just not aware of. So if you could be so kind as leave something in the comments and tell me some of the strategies that you've used at the end of the year, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. I would love to hear that. There's a couple of things that I offer that sometimes make sense for people to buy at the end of the year. Last February, we did the Lawn Care Life Conference. That was the 4th one. We're planning on doing the 5th one this February. To me, if you're coming, it would make sense to buy the ticket in December as opposed to waiting. Now, I know a lot of people wait, and that's how it goes. But if you want the tax benefit this year, you buy your ticket this year. We do also have a promo code for the VIP ticket. If you want the VIP ticket, then you can use the promo code Christmas until December 31st and get 30% off of that. It does not work for the general admission ticket. That information is over at lawncarelife.com. There's a link that says conference, and that's also where you can find the Weed Control and Fertilization Academy. And I'm actually coming out with a new course that's designed to help people with Bermuda and zoysia lawns, whether it be homeowners or business people. So if you're going to purchase some type of training, then things like that, again, you can do it in this calendar year. Take advantage of that. Wintertime is a good time to me to start improving your business. The other thing sometimes people do in the wintertime is get their website and stuff set up because they want their phone ringing in the spring when the grass starts growing. The company I use is called Footbridge Media. You can Google Footbridge Media, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there is a link for Lawn Care Life users. And the reason I tell you to do that, it is an affiliate link, but what they do is they will build your website and they do your SEO, and you pay them every month. So the normal price is $249. So sometimes when you get a website, you pay several thousands of dollars and they build you a website. Then you got to figure out a search engine optimization strategy so that you can rank on Google. These people, there's no upfront thousands of dollars. It's just simply a flat fee from the beginning. It's $249 a month. With my link, it's $199 a month. So again, you can go to footbridgemedia.com, scroll down the bottom of the page, and you will see the Lawn Care Life logo. If you click on that, and it will give you the $199 rate if you want to do it. Talk to them. They're based out of Pensacola, Florida. They built my website, alabamalawnpros.com. If you want to go check it out, they work with all kinds of service industry people, and they're very professional. They build your website and do the search engine optimization. Main point of the video, go buy things that you need to save money on taxes. Second main point, don't just go buy stuff just to save money on taxes, because that doesn't make a lot of sense, because you're only going to save the percentage that you were going to be taxed on. So wasting money to save money on taxes is not a good strategy, at least in my opinion. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. Another thing I want to mention is I got a drone recently, and so I'm really excited about upping the quality of my YouTube videos moving forward. Hopefully, got some exciting new footage coming up for you this year, and more. The information, I think, has always been good, or at least in my opinion, but sometimes the video quality does not match up with the information. So I'm trying to improve the video quality, the editing, things of that nature to line up with the quality of the information. We'll see you guys in the next video.